The Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, has captured human imagination for centuries as one of the most enigmatic creatures said to inhabit the remote peaks of the Himalayan mountain range. While Western culture has largely relegated the Yeti to the realm of cryptozoology and folklore, the creature holds deep significance in the cultural traditions of the Himalayan people, where it exists in a complex space between myth and reality. This video explores the various dimensions of Yeti encounters, from cultural beliefs to alleged violent incidents, examining how reports of Yeti attacks have influenced both local communities and global popular culture, while considering the theories that attempt to explain these mysterious encounters. In Himalayan culture, the Yeti occupies a significant place in the spiritual and folkloric traditions of Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan, where it is known by various names including Migoi and Kang Admi. The Sherpa people have long maintained beliefs about this creature, describing it as a large, ape-like being covered in dark hair that inhabits the highest, most isolated regions of the mountains. Traditional beliefs often portray the Yeti not merely as a physical creature, but as a spiritual entity that commands respect and caution, with some communities viewing it as a guardian of the mountains or a manifestation of nature's power. The creature features prominently in Buddhist monastery artwork and local oral histories, where it is sometimes depicted as both a dangerous threat and a symbol of the untamed wilderness that humans must approach with humility. Reports of Yeti violence, while rare and often difficult to verify, have emerged sporadically from the Himalayan region over the past century, typically involving attacks on livestock, destruction of property, or terrifying encounters with humans. These accounts frequently describe a creature of immense strength that moves with surprising speed through difficult mountain terrain, leaving behind unusual footprints and sometimes devastating consequences. Witnesses have reported finding yaks and other livestock killed in ways that suggest enormous physical power, with injuries that local people claim could not have been inflicted by known predators such as snow leopards or bears. The violent nature attributed to these encounters has reinforced the Yeti's fearsome reputation among mountain communities, where stories of aggressive behavior serve as cautionary tales for those who venture too far into remote areas. Among the most famous alleged Yeti attack incidents is the 1974 Machhermo incident, which remains one of the most documented and discussed cases in Yeti lore. In this event, a young Sherpa woman named Lakpa Dolma was tending to a herd of yaks near the village of Machhermo in the Khumbu region of Nepal when she was allegedly attacked by a large ape-like creature that the locals identified as a Yeti. According to reports, the creature killed several yaks before turning on Lakpa, knocking her unconscious and dragging her toward a river. But she was rescued when villagers responded to her screams and drove the creature away by throwing stones. The incident gained international attention because multiple villagers claimed to have witnessed the aftermath, and Lakpa's injuries were documented, though skeptics have suggested the attack could have been perpetrated by a bear or other known predator. The Machhermo incident has become a cornerstone of Yeti attack documentation, frequently cited by cryptozoologists and researchers as one of the most credible cases due to the number of witnesses and the victim's survival to tell her story. Another frequently discussed case involves reports from the 1920s, when British mountaineering expeditions began documenting strange encounters, including the account of photographer N.A. Tombazi, who claimed to observe a creature matching Yeti descriptions at high altitude. The 1959 Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia's Ural Mountains, though occurring outside the traditional Himalayan range, saw 9 experienced hikers die under mysterious circumstances that some have attributed to a Yeti or similar creature, though this theory remains highly speculative. In 1986, physicist Anthony Wooldridge photographed what he believed to be a Yeti in northern India, though skeptics later suggested the figure was likely a rock formation. Perhaps most chilling are the accounts from Sherpa communities of travelers who went missing in Yeti territory, with some bodies later found bearing injuries that witnesses attributed to encounters with the creature, though evidence remains largely anecdotal and unverified by scientific investigation. Anthropologists have heard of creatures resembling Yetis that prey on people in the Himalayan regions. Beyond direct attacks on people, these creatures are also said to raid cultivated fields, destroy crops, and attack cattle, representing a major threat to the livelihoods of mountain communities. By looking into sightings and encounters, we can see how folktales, travel stories, and newspaper articles have shaped the creature's legendary status in the Darjeeling and Kalimpong hills. Modern accounts and cryptozoological studies continue to record alleged encounters with and aggressive actions by creatures that look like Yetis. Decades of searches for the Yeti in Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, and other Himalayan areas have produced numerous reports, with some documentation focusing on violent encounters in regions like the area around Kanchenjunga. Locals have known about the Yeti for generations, while Western tourists have been reporting sightings since the late 1800s. Some reports describe these creatures as sometimes aggressive or prone to attacking people, though we must carefully examine these accounts within the broader context of cryptid investigations. Mountaineers and people who live in the area have told specific stories about how Yetis have hurt people in the Himalayas. The Yeti legend includes stories from famous mountaineers and locals who say they saw the creature or its tracks in remote mountain regions. Theories attempting to explain Yeti sightings and alleged attacks range from the scientifically plausible to the purely speculative, with each offering different perspectives on what might lie behind these mysterious reports. The most conservative explanation suggests that Yeti sightings are misidentifications of known animals, particularly the Himalayan brown bear or the Tibetan blue bear, both of which can appear remarkably human-like when standing on their hind legs, and could certainly inflict serious damage on humans or livestock. Some researchers have proposed that the Yeti might represent a surviving population of Gigantopithecus, an extinct genus of giant apes that once inhabited Asia, though no fossil evidence supports their survival into modern times in the Himalayas. Psychological and sociological theories suggest that Yeti reports stem from a combination of harsh environmental conditions that can cause hallucinations, cultural conditioning that primes people to interpret ambiguous experiences through the lens of local folklore, and the human tendency to seek explanations for unexplained deaths or disappearances in dangerous mountain environments. In Himalayan spiritual and cultural contexts, the Yeti and other similar images represent ideas of being different and dangerous. The Yeti appears in Himalayan folklore with connections to local stories about wild men and animals like the Ban Junkri, which existed in regional traditions long before Western explorers popularized the concept. In the harsh natural setting of the Himalayas, people sometimes describe these Yeti-like figures as dangerous and difficult to spot, embodying a uniqueness that society perceives as alien. People think that these spirits are mostly threatening and dangerous, but some traditions also suggest they can occasionally be kind or protective depending on how humans interact with them and their mountain domains. The impact of Yeti legends on popular culture has been profound and enduring, transforming a regional folklore creature into a globally recognized icon that appears across multiple media platforms and commercial contexts. Hollywood has produced numerous films featuring the Yeti, from serious expeditionary dramas to family-friendly animated features like Smallfoot and Abominable, which have introduced the creature to new generations while often softening its more frightening aspects. The Yeti has become a staple of adventure tourism in Nepal and Tibet, where the creature's mystique draws curious travelers hoping to trek through Yeti territory, contributing significantly to local economies even as serious evidence remains elusive. Beyond entertainment and tourism, the Yeti has entered the broader cultural lexicon as a symbol of the unknown and the power of wilderness, appearing in everything from sports team mascots to energy drink brands, demonstrating how a creature born from mountain folklore has been transformed into a versatile commercial and cultural symbol that transcends its origins. The enduring mystery of Yeti attacks and sightings reflects humanity's complex relationship with the unknown and our need to populate the world's remaining wild spaces with creatures that embody our fears and fascinations. Whether the Yeti represents a genuine undiscovered species, misidentified known animals, or purely cultural constructs born from the challenging environment of the world's highest mountains, the reports of violent encounters continue to captivate imaginations and influence both local communities and global culture. As scientific investigation continues with DNA analysis of alleged Yeti samples and increasing surveillance of remote regions, the legend persists as a reminder that some mysteries resist easy resolution, and that the boundary between folklore and reality remains fascinatingly porous in places where human presence is still tenuous and nature's power remains overwhelmingly evident.